Alright, what's going on, guys? Try back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing my breakdown or sort of trailer review for the first full-length official trailer of 2016 DC Comics Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. Good stuff. So I'll put the link to the trailer in the description from Movie Clips. And, it's finally hit. Been excited for it for a little while. Did the video with you guys talking about just kind of what we think about it. Want to do my actual breakdown. Want to get my actual thoughts on it. So first of all, I got to say this is one of the best trailers I've ever seen. I am as stoked for this movie as I've ever been for any other movie, being a huge comic book fan. Avengers 2, Dark Knight, the original Dark Knight or Dark Knight Rises. Any of the other comic book movies, as a big comic book fan, this one has me just as excited as any other. Of course, the title of the movie, Batman v Superman, they reduced it from Batman versus Superman, which we initially thought it was going to be. But as you can clearly see in the trailer, Batman threatening Superman, asking him if he bleeds, telling him he will. That of course this is a Batman versus Superman Dawn of Justice movie. So Dawn of Justice, of course, let's break that down. Batman v Superman versus Dawn of Justice, of course, meaning probably the beginning of us seeing the Justice League. So that said, we can assume that there's going to be the big fight in the movie. Obviously, we can see the part at the end where they're kind of doing the face-off, the face-off. And, Superman comes down and everything. Batman asks him the question and tells him he will. And you can see, man, the designs, holy cow. The designs are just amazing. I love all of them. I love the style, the look of Batman Dark Knight Returns armored. It looks even better than it did in the animated version and the straight-to-movie animated DVD from DC. It looks better than the initial artwork in Frank Miller comic books for Dark Knight Returns, where you see Batman and he's wearing his armor. Because obviously, if Batman's going to fight Superman, he's going to need some pretty heavy-duty armor, and he does have it. And I love the voice. The voice is really, really cool, man. It's got this, almost, I don't want to say Transformers-y, but almost this robotic voice changer part to it, right? Which makes all this sense. You watch The Dark Knight and you hear Christian Bale and, where's the trigger? And it's him with the voice, right? But in this, it's like, he's Batman. He can't afford a voice changer. Does he really have to do that all the time? Or can he just have a voice changer in part of his suit, that, especially if it's like the big armored suit, that can change his voice to sound, different so no one can tell who he actually is if he is to see somebody that knows Bruce. So, man, it just looks absolutely incredible. I love the lights. I love the eyes. I love the armored look and everything. And you can see Ben Affleck's, lower face part, lower mouth in it as he says it. We also get to see our first look of Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne or Batman, depending on how you want to say, who is the true identity, Batman or Bruce Wayne, who's the definitive, which one's which. I always go with Batman, and then Bruce Wayne is the mask, Bruce Wayne is the fake, Batman is the real. That's just my take on it after, of course, reading Dark Knight Returns. If you read that, you'll kind of have an understanding of what I mean by that. Like which one's the true identity, which one's the alter ego. I go with Batman as the true identity. That's his id. That's his true, person. And then, of course, Bruce Wayne is his alter ego, his mask. We all wear masks. So, yeah, we get to see him, and I think I could see a little bit of kind of aging, kind of like gray hair, experience type Batman. So I like what they're doing. They're kind of going halfway to Dark Knight Returns, where in Dark Knight Returns, you have a big, bulky, bodybuilder type old Bruce Wayne, who's probably in his 60s, and all he doesn't really fight crime too much anymore. All he does is power lift. He maybe goes for a few jogs, but for the most part, he's deadlifting, he's doing his bench, he's doing his military presses all the time, and he's huge. I mean, his traps are like, he's just a power lifter, right? Humongous. So in this, it's like they kind of went like halfway there. It's like an aged Batman, but not so aged that he's old, right? And I just love the concept. Having him in Justice League, if they're to follow this with the Justice League movie, which we're to understand they're going to, is really cool because you have, a lot of experience. This isn't a young Batman. This isn't like a year one Batman Begins. I'm just figuring stuff out and I've got these big black bat flipper things on my fingers, like in Batman, Batman Begins, you guys remember? And he's a ninja. He's a well-experienced, Batman at this point. So that's a really cool Batman to see face off against Superman. You don't really want a year one Batman in tights facing off against Superman. You want your experienced, I've got my gadgets, I've got my robotic voice changer, I like to intimidate people, and I'm going to bleed you, right? So that's the Batman it looks like we're going to get. I'm really, really excited to see that. I just can't wait to see how it all plays out. So there's the design of Batman, and that face-off scene is just chilling, man. It sends chills down your spine if you love DC. Of course, Batman and Superman, either one if you like either. So yeah, so in addition to that, we also get to see Batman in his regular kind of costume, and man, it looks sick, dude. It looks really sick. You've got like the darkened gray and kind of like a blue look to it with the haze, but you've got the Dark Knight Returns type emblem, which is not like your Batman 89. You've got the oval with the yellow. Then you have the Dark Knight, which is kind of like your etched kind of nuance type style with the edges, right? And then this one we have the Dark Knight Returns logo, which I would say Dark Knight Returns is the best Batman story, story I've ever read. It's my favorite, number one. So that's part of why I'm so excited for this. You can see the emblem, and when he comes out, he's kind of like, you can see him move, and it's kind of like he's brooding, like he's a bat, like he's a monster. I love that. That is so cool. When you see him come out, he's kind of like, like as he walks, you just watch the trailer, you get a sense of what I mean. He's not turning and just looking. He's kind of like brooding and like he's a monster. I love that. Like he's not just a person. He has embodied fear, and he is just this. He's this creature, of the night. It got me, man. It's so good. I loved it. Absolutely love it. So I love the look of the costume, and he looks big too when he's got the costume on. Very Dark Knight Returns-esque. He looks huge, like his shoulders and everything, his arms and just everything. He looks humongous as he's coming out. Like he can bench press 1,000 pounds or something. Just huge. Really, really, really cool. We also hear Alfred talking, and all the talking scenes that we can hear Jesse Eisenberg as Lex in there too. You've got a lot of different, random people saying, and you've got False God on the statue and all that, which is really cool. Which kind of, it almost seems to me like they may remix the Dark Knight Returns story, which is in that story, Batman is kind of the one who is under public scrutiny. And in this, it almost seems like Superman is the one, unless they're mixing that. Because you do also see Superman walk in and you have the military and they like bow down to him like he's a king. They bend the knee, Game of Thrones style, right? As he walks in. So it's kind of like, the big question is from the initial story is Superman approaching Batman, telling Batman he has to stop, or do we see the other way around? Is there going to be some kind of inversion with that with the original story? I guess we'll have to wait and see how it all plays out, but I could see it go either way, because you can see that Superman is in cahoots, at least with some military personnel, as they bow down to him like he is a god. Which is really, really cool. You can also hear Jesse Eisenberg saying that, devils come from the sky. They don't come from below us from hell. So that's really cool as well, too. So we can see maybe Lex Luthor in this will be partaking or participating in defaming Superman, or kind of, slanting things, as we can see. And I think it's Metropolis we see the statue, and I would assume it is, not Gotham. But it's really dark, and the visuals look really beautiful. That's one thing about Zack Snyder, man. He's got the visuals down to a T. He really makes sure, and like just with the designs and everything, that everything looks fantastic. And it does, in the trailer. You can see it looks just... The quality is beyond belief. It looks amazing compared to some of the stuff we get in the 90s or early 2000s, right? So, man, really, really cool stuff. Can't wait to see how it all plays out and which one approaches who. Does Superman come to Batman and start this, or does Batman go to Superman because of what Alfred's saying and that power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely? We've heard the quote. I forget initially who said that, but you hear it all the time, especially if you're into conspiracy theories and stuff, which is always fun, which may or may not be true. We live in a crazy world. So anyway, just my thoughts on the trailer. Blew me away. Absolutely loved it. Can't wait to see the movie. It's my most anticipated movie for 2016. Of course, Suicide Squad is going to be hitting as well too, but I don't expect that to be on the same, kind of scale as this. It should be a lot of fun, and Jared Leto as the Joker and all that should be great. But this one for me looks like it might be my favorite comic book movie of all time, because the story it's based on is my favorite Batman story of all time, and you can't go wrong with Batman. So who's going to win? Who's going to be? Going to do a video giving my thoughts on that. Who will win between the two? So if you're new to the channel, you want to see that video, you want to go ahead and subscribe. subscribe, bottom left, just click the subscribe. Want to click my channel name, go to the channel, check for the video. Who will win? Who do I think is going to win between Superman and Batman? Because obviously it's going down. It's on like Donkey Kong. Okay, so that's pretty much all I got to say for the trailer for now. There's also something else in there where you see all these people and they're like trying to touch Superman, which I got to watch again. At first I thought they were like Joker face people or something, or they just painted their faces, or I don't know what's going on with that. We got to wait till we see more and we find out more about it to see how that goes. But it looks like it could be some fun either way. Let me know what you guys think about the trailer. Write it in the comments below. Let me know what you thought about this breakdown. If you liked it, please thumb it up below. If you want to support the channel, please share it. If you've got a Facebook, you want to share it through to Facebook, I would appreciate it. Favorite it if you want to help me out. And that's all I got to say for this one, guys. Probably my most anticipated movie ever. Yeah, so like it, favorite it, share it, subscribe if you're new. That's it for this one. See you guys for the next one. As always, it's Travis saying peace. Later, guys. See ya.